Okay. This is not my Angular. No? Sorry. Okay. So first, so what is an service? Okay. So what we are seeing service. Okay, so as part of your Angular architecture, we are seeing three things, three important things, which was components, modules, and third one is services. Okay, so components are basically the pages that you are creating. Okay, so modules is where you register your pages. So basically, if you are grouping the pages into modules, means you will create modules for each module. Basically, do not get confused. But let's say you have you have a menu means, and that menu has 10 sub menu means that menu will become a module. Okay, so you'll create a module and register that module inside your app.module.ts. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and same way, you will register all the, if in case there is no modules, you register the components which are the pages directly into app.module.ts. So modules is that. So only if you register the page, that page will be called when you are calling from your client, which is the browser. Okay. So the next important thing in an uh, Angular is service. So basically, service straightforward is actually used to call APIs from your Angular. Basically, it is used to connect your backend. Okay, so it is used to connect your backend. Let's say you have created APIs in your .NET Core and which returns the data means you need to connect to that particular API. That is service, and it is exactly same way what you have you would have done in MVC and all. But yeah, it just it's see here. This is not any code specific to Angular or TypeScript. Calling an API, calling a backend is entirely pure C sharp. So the concept is of C sharp. You're going to just connect to your backend. That's all. So you're just going to call your API. That's all. If it is a query string, you'll just pass the query string. If it is an you basically get with query string means you are going to pass the data through the query string. If it is post with you're sending model means you're going to send the model in the post. So basically, you're going to work with HTTP. That's all. So services are very simple that you create to connect with your backend. Okay, so you connect with your backend, get the data, and that data you can use it in components in your pages. Okay, maybe by displaying it or doing any validation, anything. Okay, so Angular is actually led by. I am not sure whether I told this. Angular is not by Microsoft. Angular is by Google. Okay, so Angular is something led by Google. Okay, so basically Angular is focused on interfaces only. Okay, um, so basically, you will not get the data from your front end itself. No, data it's not being basically you cannot connect to the database directly and get the data in the front end. No, that is not at all possible. That is only way that you can get a data in your front end is you can use a service, and service should call an API. Basically, service means uh, that will call the API and get the data. It gives you a service. That's the service. So So basically, that is an service. So you understand? You understood this, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So first thing, okay. So before going to write an call an API and all, we need to know because service is not something that already pre-exists in your application, and this service you have to again register it. Okay. Service is something that you have to register it, and I think we saw this a bits and pieces. We saw it in the previous class, but yeah, same way that you have created module, no, you have to create one more. I'll show you. Same way like you have created modules, you have to create services also. Okay, a folder with your one ts file. Okay, like module.ts, this would be service.ts. Okay, that's all, that's the difference. See, so like this is modules, and if you see services, same way that I have created modules, I have created services. Okay, and this service will have a ts file. That's all, you'll have a ts file. You can have n number of services for anything. See, basically let's say this ts file means chat.service.ts. That's all. And what so when you add something in your source under the app, let's say modules or a service, basically to consider this into your application, what you did, basically you wrote modules. This modules you created, let's say, okay, you created one module, no, for your application to consider this modules, each and every folder, you did something in the app.module.ts. What you did,
Uh, Register a component.
you registered the module. You did not register the component. That inside the module you registered the component. Okay,
Okay.
let's say this change request, this is the module,
Okay.
modules,
Yes.
and I have the change request. Okay, this is the I have registered the module here. In the module I have registered the components. Okay, now
Yes.
basically, okay, you have services, you have to register the service. You can register either in your local module where you are using that service, or you can register in the app module. One thing you should understand is, I have already told you, your this is my local module and this is my global module. My global module will cover for the whole application, and this local module will only cover for my local module alone. Okay, only for change request module. Inside components, if you see, there's a change request. Only for this change request it will work. Rest for any other pages, this is not covered. If you want to, if you want, let's say you are creating a service for change request alone, means you can register it in your local module itself. Let's say you are creating only one service, and that service you are using it for all the pages, means you can register inside your app.module. That's the difference. Based on your requirement, you can add it anywhere. Okay, got it.
Okay.
So you
Yes.
have to register the service. Where you will you register the service? You have to register in the providers. You have to just add it inside the providers. That's all. Okay,
Okay.
just simply add the um, service into providers. And creating service, how will you create a service? Let's say writing service, we'll see now. But yeah, so service is same like the component. You will have a class, but yeah, we'll see that. So that class name you have to provide it into your um, providers. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, now we should see how we should write the service first. So there's nothing complex in writing a service. It is just an class. That's all. See, it's just that's all. It's a class. Okay, but if you want this service to be usable, you are doing something inside your component also. You are adding, you added this component, and below that you were adding this injectable. No, you see this.
Yes.
So any TS page you should add that injectable. That, see,
Okay.
so you just simply add this injectable. This is a syntax on TS page. Add the injectable and then write an export class name. That's all. Export class name. That's all. And the open and close braces inside that you can write all your functions. That's all. And this is the class name you should provide inside your service. Okay, got it.
Okay.
That's all. So next. So we will do the same thing once again. Okay. Okay, one second. I'm going to create a service here. Component means inside here, let's say I will add an folder which will be called service. Okay, I have created the services. Inside services, I'm going to create an let's say I'll create only one TS page. Student dot service dot ts. And one thing that you are going to do is, see, I didn't create many sub modules, but your application you have created many sub modules. No, for each module create one service separately. Okay.
Okay.
So any API connections for that particular module will be written in that service alone, so that it is easy for you to debug and all. Okay. So whatever we do, see, that's the architecture. Okay, layered architecture and all. So this way only you are very clear with your code and clean with your code. Okay, else Angular can get bit messy, and because Angular is not like your backend, you can simply easily see the exception, and you can still debug your Angular, but it's not like your backend that you can easily see the exception and all. If you are not writing the code in an organized way, then it's going to be a nightmare for us to find an issue in the Angular. Okay,
Okay.
so coming here. So first, what should I do? Add injectable. And then I should do an export class. What is this? Student service. That's all. This is not. I for me it's this one is not working. No. So this you add it in your code. Okay. For me, my install will not work in local internet. Yeah. So basically, actually, my library is missing here. You can see. So my library is missing. TS lib. Okay, I'll try to take the TS because my libraries were not working. It's not working. Okay, because I did not install. Only I'll try to fix that today because without VPN I cannot install anything. But yeah, I will try to fix this. I should run the install. Okay, npm install. You remember last class we were discussing on that. So you should my angular this at angular/core. This is the package. Okay, this package is missing in my application. Okay,
Okay.
so even if I do an npm install, it should fix. One second. See, my packages are not working. See, my packages are failed. See, all the packages. See, actually, I should do an npm install. This will fix. I should do that. Okay, we'll see. Okay, see that later. Okay, very simple. So I created the export class, and what should I do? Go to app module and providers. I should give this. That's all. Finished. Okay.
Okay.
You will not see this error because for me these are all throwing errors. So, but yeah, you should add that into your providers. After adding, just click on this, you should come here. Okay, that's all. That's the simple thing. Okay,
Okay.
so that's the one thing. Okay, how are we going to connect to the database? Let's see. Okay, so uh, not the database exactly. How are we going to send the request to your backend? Okay, say it's one second. Mhm. Should okay, constructor uh, HTTP client. This is also should be uh, okay. I should use HTTP client. Okay, I'll show here. Okay, HTTP provider. Okay, everything will grow. Okay, just note down. So first, so do you know where we have used the constructor? So even in .NET Core, we were using the constructor for something. In C Sharp, when we were looking into C Sharp, I told you constructors are for doing initialization. Okay, basically any initialization that you want that particular page, we use constructors. Angular uses constructor in all the pages. Okay, so Angular uses this constructor very strictly. Okay, any page that you want to call any services, basically, let's say you have a service, you have registered that service in that particular module or in the app.module.ts. Okay, that's fine. But but let's say you want that service to be used, basically. So in your component, let's say in your component, from your component you are going to call an API. Okay, this page should get the data, and that data you are going to use in this page means you should call that API. So API calls you are writing in the service. Okay, API calls that you are writing in the service, which means from this page you should call that service so that that service calls the API and get the data back, right? So you should initialize the service in the constructor. Okay. So any component, any services or anything that you're going to use, you will be initializing that in your constructor. Okay. So after your class, what you do is basically write your constructor, and inside that you initialize them. Here it's basically initializing is like give the same, it's private, public, everything is access modifiers are same in TypeScript also. Your initialization is here, it's not like equal, instead of equal it's colon, that's all. Okay, so
Okay.
you initialize the service and you provide an object for that service. Basically you create an object for the class. That's what you're doing here, right? You're creating the object for this class, and you're using this class. Very simple. This is again exact C sharp. And if you just recollect your C sharp code, okay, what you do, let's say you have a class. Okay, basically this is a class, service is a class, right? This is a class, no? And
Yes.
inside class you have written multiple functions. These are all functions. See, basically here how you write a function is there how you write a function. Let's say public and function name means, okay, public string function name open and close brackets means inside that you write everything and do a return. Okay, this is what you do it in your C sharp. Here it's very simple. Okay,
Okay.
public, your function name, there is no return type. I told you, in TypeScript there is no need to mention return type. but you can return anything. Public, your function name, give function name equal to open and close braces and lambda expression. See, this is a standard syntax to write and function here. Okay, open and close braces, and inside the open and close braces, if in case you are going to pass any parameter to this function, you can pass. See, I have mentioned I am passing some model here, so I have added it here. Here I am not passing anything, so it's empty. Okay, that's all. Open and close. Inside that you can write your code. Okay. So now you have multiple functions here. So in C sharp, what you'll do, you have a class and you have multiple function. You need to call that function inside a class. What will you do in C sharp? Okay, let's say you have a class, and inside class you have multiple functions.
Yes.
Function one and two. So in your void main, now I need to call this function two. Work with this function two. What will you do?
Creating the object.
Okay, let's say we'll create an object for class, no?
Yes,
Class
yes.
obj equal to new class. Okay, done.
Yes.
Then
Creating, calling the function with object name.
how will you call the function?
With the object name.
Yeah,
Use
object dot, it will show the
function.
function, right?
Yes.
Function one. This is how you call, no?
Yes, yes.
And this is the same way you are going to follow in TypeScript also. So as I said, all the concepts of TypeScript is 100% same as C sharp. Everything is same. Here and there, a few syntax changes. Basically, how you create the function and all. It's a small change, no? There it's like you will not have that equal to and all lambda expression. There you will directly put an open close parenthesis. If there is any parameters you're going to pass, you'll have it. Else you'll leave it. That's all. This lambda expression is not there in C. That's all. Correct.
Yes.
Let's say same. Okay, done. Now you have this class will have all the functions. I want to call that from my component. I need to call. See, this is what it's going to get the data from your backend. Okay, I need this data in my page. Okay, what will I do? First, I'm creating object for my service. Okay,
Okay.
I'm creating object for my service.
Yes.
Second, where's any service? I create object for my service. Now I need to call whichever function that inside gets my data. See, my object dot the function. That's all. Okay,
Okay.
my object dot the function. Leave this subscribe and all that we'll see. But today we'll see how you what's the syntax of TypeScript and how you should call everything and all. Okay.
Okay.
Let's subscribe, and there's one more thing. That's the two things we'll see at the end. Okay.
Okay.
So object dot your method. And in TypeScript, if you want to call any object that you create in TypeScript, it's not like how you were calling it in the C sharp. Let's say you created this object, no, you directly object dot function one you'll do in C sharp. Here in TypeScript, any object that you create, any variable that you create, you should call it basically with this dot. You should do any object, any variable. Okay, see this record counts is my I have created this as an object. This is a variable. Let's say selected tool ID is a number. Okay, I will come to this number, but yeah, I have created this as a variable. Okay, or bems id is a string. I should call this bems id with this dot only. This dot bems id. See this dot bems id.
Okay.
Okay, so TypeScript, any variable, any object should be called with this dot. Okay, else it will not work. Okay. Second, in TypeScript you have only two variables, two data types. One is number, other one is string. Okay, these are the predominant data types that you will be seeing in uh, TypeScript. Okay. uh, main for instead of integer it is number. Okay, string is same string as it is in C sharp. You have boolean. Okay, rest I think everything is same. Boolean, yeah, rest everything is same. But yeah, only int will become as a number. Okay,
Okay.
int is number. That's all. That's only a change. Um, what else? What else with okay. So I'm just sharing you the syntax change that you are seeing. Like, see, it's actually 100% same with C sharp, except these few syntax. Your component should have this thing that you already know. I told you any component, any TypeScript page should have at injectable. Okay, else it will know it won't at injectable. That's all. Before the class you write it, and anything that you are going to initialize, basically call any service, you are going to use a constructor on the page. Okay, this also I told you how to call the constructor, and any variables or object, how will you call, I told you, that we have seen. Okay, and what constructors we have seen. And one last thing that with your TypeScript is in your components. Okay, in your page, basically this will not be needed in any other TypeScript pages, only in your pages components. So in ASP.NET you had a concept of page load, no? Right?
Yes.
So when you create an ASP.NET application, you will see the page load. Page load is the default function that is created, and whenever the page gets loaded, your your code goes there to the page load. That will be in function. So basically, we write few things in page load. So every time the page loads, few things should happen. We'll be writing. Same way, we can have page loads on your Angular. So basically, we call that as on init. See, this is my on init. So my on init will load every time this page gets loaded. Okay, this will be the first thing that happens when the page loads. Okay, so basically the page load. That's all. Page load of Angular is on init, and see, basically in C sharp, when ASP.NET, when you create the ASP space, these page loads things and all will automatically get generated. But in Angular, you have to write it. Okay, so ng on init, we call it as ng on init, open and close braces. Same, this is also a function, but yeah, open and close braces, semicolon. It does not return anything. Okay, this function does not return anything, so it's void and open and close. This syntax is only for your payload functionality function. Okay, so
Okay.
if you see any other function, you will not write an return type. See, get tool orders, this is a function I'm calling. This does not give a return type. Okay, we will not provide return type anywhere. Okay, but your function, see, your function syntax is same, no? I showed in service also. Your function name equal to, then whatever parameter that you're passing in the lambda expression on open and close. This is how your functions will be. Only your page load, which is your ng on it, will be ng on it, open and close, parenthesis, dot void, and open and close. Okay, you understood this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the, you should not change the void because your ng on it will not return anything. It should not return anything, honestly. And you should write whatever code that it should be executed when your page loads for the first time. Okay, it's not only this you have to do, and there's one more point you have to do, which is you should tell the Angler that I want to invoke this ng on in it when the page loads. Okay, you have to tell that also. How you should tell that? Basically, you write the export class name, no? There you should say implements on in it. If you do that, when the page loads, it will implement them. So I have given four methods, no? So I am saying When the page load, implement the on init first, then after view init, then spinner methods, and then the spinner properties. I'm telling the class to do this in this order. Okay. So
Okay.
implements, and you should give them, and that will be implemented when the page loads. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, these are all the syntax I want you to try. Um, so any questions on TypeScript? That's all. That's the 100% difference between a TypeScript and C Sharp. Yeah. Do you have any doubts or anything?
No.
So there are three ways. You Okay, there are three ways you can create a function. One is ng on it. This is the standard way for your page load method. Okay. Second is how you normally create an function. How you normally create a function name. This will have the parameters param. Okay, open and close. Okay, I have done this. Okay. This is normal way. Okay, and this is same as this function equal to param lambda method. These are two ways to create a function. Totally there are three ways. Okay, and the first one is only for your page load methods. Okay,
Okay.
I have sent you this, you can use them. Okay, this is for page loads. Okay. Mm, okay, that we have done basically, and we know how to call the service also, how to register the service, everything we have done. And now we should can okay. So first, to call an API, you are using HTTP client module. You should import the HTTP client module in your app module.ts basically. So if you go, I would have one second. HTTP providers I am using. Uh, we are using HTTP providers. HTTP provider should use something. Okay, we should use HTTP client module. Okay, that's the best thing. Don't use this. This is don't want to use this client module. Okay, so we should use HTTP client module. I want you to import this. Okay, basically where you want to import this uh, in your app module.ts in the imports. Okay, you can add this in the import. Okay,
Okay.
see HTTP client module is already there. Okay, it should be already there. But yeah, okay, you just double check if it's already there. Okay,
Okay.
and you are going to use the HTTP request to call your API. Okay, so the most common type of API call in Angular is the GET request, which is used to retrieve data from the server. So import HTTP client in your component and inject it through the constructor. Okay. Uh, few words you should learn in Angular is inject through the constructor. That's the initialization in the constructor. That we call it as inject through the constructor. Okay. If someone says um, inject it through the constructor means this is inject through the constructor. Okay, constructor open and close parenthesis. I am writing every I'm initializing my components, like initializing my service and all. So just read through my words that I told you. Import HTTP client in your component. Import HTTP client in your component. Let's say this icon provider service is my HTTP client, let's say. Okay, so I am importing it in my component. First import HTTP client in your component and inject it through the constructor. See, I'm injected it and I'm importing it. That's what I told you. Okay, so basically you have to do that, and you should do that in your service actually. Okay, so here we are using HTTP provider. Don't take this as my this as your one. Will do that in here itself. Sorry. Let's say in your service you have the constructor. No, yeah. See, HTTP client. Write your HTTP client here and import the HTTP client. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Import it. Basically, if you whatever it should get that, because mine is not working. So it's not giving me the one. But yeah, for you it should do. So you should write the constructor, initialize the HTTP client, give an object name, and import the HTTP client. That's all. This is the first step. Okay.
Okay.
See, for me, it's not at all able to find because it's not working. Yeah, the reference are not working. Okay, okay. So how to call and call and API? It's right in function. Okay, so it's very simple. This dot. Okay, this is my HTTP. HTTP is my HTTP no client no. So just simply HTTP dot. And after, if you write HTTP and if this is resolved, you'll get the get or post or anything. It should be get, and here you should write the API URL. Okay, dot. I'll write and what I'm doing. Okay. So basically, this is how you write and get. So this dot HTTP dot get. You give the URL dot subscribe. What is subscribe? Okay. So in Angular, you'll get to know this word in multiple places. What is subscribe? Subscribe is something that will establish a connection to the particular URL. Okay, a subscribe is something that will establish a connection. That's all. In Angular, you should use subscribe to establish a connection. Okay, and even to uh, connect to a method, you can use subscribe. See, you will see that here. I will show you. See, I am connecting to the service. See, inside service I am using subscribe to connect to the API, but connecting to the service also I am using subscribe. So I will do an establishment with the service. So why we do this? This is most same as the async method. Basically it will wait until the work is done. That's all. If this is going to take 10 minutes, means your subscribe will hold the work until it gets the data come back. Until this is done, your subscribe will hold your um, code. It will hold your run until that. Okay, so that's why we use the subscribe. And this, after that you are writing the data here. No, see, basically this is the syntax you are going to use. I am just explaining the syntax. Okay, so this is an object. Whatever data that your URL returns, this data will be the object that will contain the data that your URL returns. In case your URL doesn't return also, this data will hold the success code, okay or bad. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
So basically this is what you're going to do. uh, you write URL and you connect. Okay, any questions on get API?
No.
So here itself we can write an uh, let's say you're connecting with the API and it's throwing an error. Okay, this method will not now catch the error. It will go as an error, but you will not be able to see that error also because it comes in your console. It will not throw any exception and all. Your Angular doesn't throw any exception. Okay, it's not like C sharp. So in case if you want to know if there is any error, basically, if there is any error, you want to basically throw it means what you should do. Okay, after API, this is I'll write this separately. Okay, this is one more syntax that you will use to catch the um, error. So pipe catch error error. That's all. This will catch the error if there is any error. That's all. You have to just add this before the subscribe. Pipe catch error, and this error will catch whatever error that is in. So now you can do anything. So if you put console.log means this will write the error. You can see that whatever error it comes. Okay, understood. So
Okay.
this way you can catch the error if there are any errors. Okay.
Okay.
So it's already 8. We have seen the get. Tomorrow we'll see the post also. Okay. Post is basic. See, get is very simple. You are just passing. Um, get means you are not going to pass any model and all. You are just passing the query. Let's say um, in even in your get request, you need to pass. See, parameters. Okay, get means you will not pass the models. You need to pass parameters means how will be your API URL with parameters. You have seen .NET Core. No, I have told you if it is a get request and it carries parameter means parameters will be like this. No? You should give the data here, right? If there are two
Yes.
means, this is how you are going to do. No,
Yes. Yes.
okay. So this param and param two are dynamic data. You need to send that from your component. How will you do that? Your you have the this API URL. You should add that param data inside. Let's say I'm getting that in here. Param with the number. Let's say param two also. Okay.
Okay.
This param and param two I should do instead of 10. I should have this object, and instead of 20 I should have this object. How will you do it?
Yes. Concat using.
Concat. Yeah, that's all. Very simple. I just wanted to know if you're able to think about it. It's just very simple. Concat. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
According to Angular, this is string. Only when you this HTTP get will take this as an URL. That's all. Okay. You can concat and make that URL. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
Okay. No questions. And what I suggest, if we create like one script application for Angular, like creating registration, login, and some sample of menu and the code operation of like employee department.
Yeah, that's what actually I wanted you to do. If you are like catching up with that pages, we'll just convert that to application itself.
Okay.
I want you to do the all this at the end. That will become an application. Okay. So you have the department itself. You have department three modules. I asked you to create. Did you create that modules?
Yes, I have like created one, as you know, test component,
Mm-hmm.
and inside the created pages like HTML, CSS, and TS file.
Yeah, okay. So you have created the modules and all. No, let's see that test module. Why I asked you create it, because if there is no module at all, I wanted to know. I wanted you to know that how you will be able to register them directly into the app.module.ts. So, but we are going to work with the department, a college module only. Okay, the college module has a department, students and or sub modules. No, that
Yes.
we will develop as an application. Okay, so now if you are ready with that, I want you to create a service also today, and I want you to just create the service, register the service in the college module itself, and keep it ready. That will create the page. Now just now we have if you are ready with the service, we can simply create one page. That's all. We'll get the data from the API, and we'll create the page. Okay.
Okay, and for service, for example, we have department, staff, and student. So we have service three type, right? For department, for staff,
No, no,
and
no.
for
For college, you create a one service. Why you see writing code? Just think logically. See, think very logically. I am saying that. See, you have the college module. Okay, inside
okay,
college module, you have 10 pages. Do you want to create 10 service for each page? You want to create one service, or you want to create one service for the module itself,
okay,
which is
once,
compactable and which is reusable. If you create 10 service for each, like each page you are going to create 10 one service means it simply waste, no, so much space, so much repeated code. Why you
oh,
would want to do? For one module, create one service, that's all. And that
oh,
module can have 10 pages. All the 10 pages, any API you want to call, you should write it inside the that single service. Okay.
okay,
Okay, you just do create the service. So tomorrow what we'll do, I need to show again, I need to show, tell you how to write post and all. No, post,
okay,
I will tell you that. After post we can simply create on a page, and we'll see. Okay.
okay, okay,
So actually Angular is, that's all Angular is. You need to know few more things also, that we will see one by one when we are creating the page, post the service. I will tell few more things we'll see. Error
okay,
handling, those things and all we'll see in the component. Okay.
okay, okay,
Okay, no, but not much. It should be fine with this week. Okay, you should be fine.
okay, okay,
Next, before second, no, I will. We have to see that Angular .NET Core things that you sent also. We'll schedule some time to see that also. Okay.
okay,
Okay, Jignesh. We'll see you
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.